We all set? Okay, we will open the meeting of March 12th of the Pine Hills Land Authority, the Florida Directors Meeting. First order of business is to have a roll call. I am present. Ms. Walsh.
Present.
Ms. Higgins.
Present.
Reginelli.
Here.
Ms. Polino.
Present.
And Danielle is here remotely.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I do want to note that I have an electrical training, so I'll be leaving in 5 minutes, which I let Sarah know ahead of time.
Okay, that's still have a quorum. Yeah, we will still have a quorum if we leave.
I'll jump on to I know that I don't count, but I'll jump on when I get on the train.
Okay, great. Hope you're going someplace nice.
It's south of
Bring some warm weather back with you. First order of business is the approval of the minutes of February 12th. I would ask for a resolution to put the approval on the table. As well, second, Ms. Higgins. Are there any questions, concerns, comments, corrections that anybody wants to make with the minutes? Discussion? Okay, I'll close the discussion. This does not require, yes it does. A roll call vote, I vote yes. Mr. Negro is not here. Ms. Walsh?
Yes.
Reginelli?
Yes.
Ms. Higgins? Mr. Melendez? Here, can't vote. Alejandro Polino?
Present. Yes.
Pass 5. Pass. Minutes are passed. Next issue. We have a lot of business today. I'm going to open it up for public comments. I would ask you to come to the podium and keep your remarks to under 5 minutes, please.
I noticed you looked at me when you said that.
No, I'm not looking. I just want to make sure you're here. Because it wouldn't be a meeting without you.
I timed it great.
Okay. Anybody for public comment?
I guess maybe I should start. Good morning. I'm John Wallner, Pine Hills resident. Mr. Chairman, thank you, as always, for listening to the public, collaborating, with the public. You guys have done a great job of keeping focus on things, but also listening to the input of the broader community. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that and this opportunity to have 3 minutes of your time, every month. I guess the first thing I'd like to do, I hadn't planned to say, but I'm really delighted to see you here, Peter. Peter, Dan, welcome. I think that having somebody with your connection with St. Rose and also with my alma mater, RPI, here is a wonderful thing, and how appropriate that we are in the Lally School to do that. I think that Ken and Thelma would be delighted that you're here to help us be the stewards of this property. So welcome, and I'm looking forward to working with you. You all know I try to be as positive as possible in public, but that I have shared privately with you some worries about the process on the Mastery Center. Thank you, Kevin, for sharing out the board package materials that I sent over.
Yeah, I did not.
Oh, you've not seen this then? Okay. Then I'll take something out and I'll add something into my 3 minutes. But thank you for forwarding that onto the board when you have time and they have time to do it. What I wrote to you when I transmitted that is that I'm presenting to you my view of one good way that you can do right by the Mastery Center. It's not the only way, and I understand, that you may have some other insights that I do not have, but I felt it really important to share this with you because I've had conversations with more than 100 different arts organizations, donors, people who care about St. Rose, to try to understand how we take the best proposals that you have received and the best comments that you've received and actually make something that's fundable where we can move forward without risk to the county. So that said, I will delete a piece of my comment so that I can give you two important paragraphs from what I submitted after working with the consultant for 6 months. I made a short remark about mastery at the end. I said, I'm pleased, judging by the comments, feedback, and applause, that this phase concludes exactly where I started and where it needs to be. The Mastery Center will remain a performing arts venue serving our community. There is no one organization that will buy the building, but many creative, supporting, and compelling ideas for programming the center. I know the mix we will most likely end up with. I know how to get there in the most Albany way possible. I've made certain that the consultant had the right connections with organizations most likely to help at this point. I've also discussed them in depth with likely principal donors about how to make the center work financially. There are at least 2 viable models. There are myriad configurations of uses within those models. I will continue to share my best information on this with the consultants, the possible programming partners, electeds, staff, and the public. Several of you have asked, what's your interest in this job? And that's the second paragraph that I submitted. Quite simply, I'm an honest broker without an agenda for a particular approach or program. My simple goal is a viable and sustainable mastery center that anchors the Pine Hills neighborhood into the next century. This kind of a vibrant center will really anchor the redevelopment of the St. Rose campus, attracting regional residents and being a creative magnet to attract the middle-class, creative, professional families that have long been the backbone of this neighborhood. A vital mastery center fits nicely within the governor's larger plan to make Albany home of more government, medical, and technology employees who already work here. To make Albany work, we all know we need to make it an attractive place to live, and we're doing that. And I'll add a final point, kind of, if I could improvise. One of the most interesting conversations I had with the consultant was about arts and media and entrepreneurship and all the funding available in the film industry. And I understand the wisdom of this body, even though I disagreed with it. I understand the wisdom, Kevin, in bringing this all back to focus so that you can move this forward and get the building sold. And I recognize that that's critical to everything I want to do. So in the time since then, with my interaction with the consultant, I've tried to keep on focusing on media and entrepreneurship, as well as the performing arts and education aspects of it, so that we have a plan that not only works for the Mastery Center, but can also integrate part of the Hearst Center and potentially more. I had a conversation with the county executive about how that could grow over time, and he's on board with that if we can show a viable use. So I'm working at that. I'll do my best to help you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Susan Rizzo, the Albany County Controller. I just first wanted to compliment Amy Thompson because she does an excellent job. We have questions, she's able to answer them. I know she has a lot on her plate. But I also like to thank Peter and hope for the transparency of this board. It continues in the best interest of both Albany County and the Albany County Pine Hills Land Authority. I reserve the right to comment regarding the Albany County Pine Hills Land Authority financials with the Albany County books and records, as we are closing our books as well. And I think it's in the best interest that they equal. And if I have any comments, now that I see your financials, our financials are about ready to be complete as well, to make sure they equal, because I think it would be in the best interest for both parties that the numbers equal. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Are there any other members of the public who would like to?
Sure. Hi, how are you? I'm Margie Skinner. I've lived in the neighborhood for most of my life, and I'm a homeowner and proud resident. And I just, again, want to thank you guys for moving along with some of the big ticket items to work on the bond issue and get that down. And I'm much more concerned as a homeowner and a neighbor about the little things. And so I want to just kind of remind you a couple of things, that now that I mean, we've had 4 seasons in a week, so welcome to Albany. My concern of the houses, we want new neighbors, and the longer the houses sit empty, the more they deteriorate. And we don't have a 24-hour presence. We have work hour presence of county offices, but we don't have a neighborhood developing yet. And I just want to keep reminding you that it's our neighborhood and we want people. And right now, as far as I understand from talking to people, we don't even have a process. You don't even have a process. If somebody wants to buy a house, fix up a house and move in, there's nobody to talk to ask them. And I'm hoping that you do move in that direction. There is in the county a land bank that has kind of a process for the houses, and if that's the model or if there's something else. The one thing I'm thinking, we're now that the weather was good, at least it was good a couple of days ago, and it will be good. This is the time when houses can be worked on and people can be thinking about moving in. You have a 90-day wait before you can sell anything. If we don't start moving in that direction now, we'll be into winter again by the time people are buying houses, and it'll be harder for them. It'll be another whole year that we've lost. So that's what I really want to say. I just want to focus on the houses, get that process moving along with the other things. My thing, 3 houses can bring you $1 million in the market in Albany. They're not, national, whatever you call it, chop liver, whatever that word is, that's not, worthless. They can add up to, and if you sell 12 houses, it's $4 million, so that's my point. Great to see you all, and keep up the good work. Thanks.
Thank you. I think we're going to address some of those issues later in the meeting.
Fantastic.
Our over 55, community plan that was in the playbook. And Mr. Turek will provide us with a condition of some of those facilities. I'm very excited about what Zach Conley is going to present later in the meeting, and we're moving forward, believe it or not. We've had meetings on the development of the over 55 community, which will impact a lot of the homes that.
Yes, I've been there over 55 years in my house. And I wasn't a baby when I moved in.
The struggle with what we're going to call it when it's over 50, that's what we put in the plan.
Terrific.
That might change.
Great, thanks so much. That's
Well,
great.
thank you.
See, I feel, boy, have I accomplished something by hoping.
Well, you did. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. One more? Yes.
Hi, my name is Virginia Hammer. I live at 52 South Allen Street. I'm speaking on my own behalf. Following up on the housing situation, I'm interested in the progress and the timeline related to the so-called elder housing, which would take the place of Lima Hall. It's under my understanding that from the plan, that is the place that is the only place, aside from the houses, that will have any kind of housing. And as you know, during those outreach sessions, people really emphasized housing as one of their main goals for the use of the campus. So I'm very happy to see our friend here who hopefully will give us some information about how that's going, because these kinds of projects can take a long time and none of us are getting, at least I'm not getting any younger. So I'd like to see something going on, in a kind of timely way. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll end that piece of the agenda. And I'm going to defer here a little bit. I want to introduce Dr. Brophy from Hudson Valley Community College. Would you get up and please give us your thoughts on what you're looking at? Oh, is that it? No. All right. All right, I guess we're going to do that in an executive session. I'm sorry. Long one. Sorry about that. Sorry. Next item is the review and approval of the parish reports. Mr. Holmes.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Chair. So we have previewed this literally 7 or 8 minutes ago in the other committee. So the reports are in your packages. They're I don't know, it's 100 and some pages of basically empirical data about the authority, whether it's financial, a lot of those numbers come from the audit, the financial statement that we just saw. It talks about the board members, when they were appointed, how long their term is, the fact that none of you receive any compensation, you'll be happy to know that. So it reminds you of that. And the fact, any property disposition, so there's a long list of properties in there because there are 25, we acquired the St. Rose properties. So that part of the report is actually bigger than probably it will be moving forward. Although we'll have next year some dispositions that will be in the report. This year we don't have that. Subject to any questions, I went through it, Amy, with her. There's a few, what I would call non-substantive errors. Those are going to be corrected or modifications, not necessarily errors. Subject to that, Amy needs your authorization to basically hit the button to Paris to submit this to the various offices that access public authority reporting and information system, that's Paris. So it's the controller, the ABO, a number of state level entities have access to Paris. I'll also say that this year, I believe in the funding for the Authority Budget Office, there's a new Paris coming out. I read that, I've been inputting this in the early 2000s, and it was 10 years old probably then, so it's gonna change, and it'll probably get more user-friendly. Not that it's not impossible, it's just hard it's not necessarily easy to go from screen to screen. You would understand if you were in it, like Amy is. But there's gonna be a new system, I think hopefully not probably this year, but the following year is what I understand the development time. So anyways, this resolution is for the board consideration to approve and authorize the CEO/CFO treasurer to submit this report to Paris. And I'll note there's one error in here, it's just mine, it says 23 independent audit, it's actually 25, obviously. So subject to that change, I think this is ready for your consideration. Sure.
Thank you. Any discussion? We need a roll call vote on this?
There is one additional edit, I'm listed as being a elected or appointed municipal government official, and so Sarah Rushing.
Yeah, we have that. Yes, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for, we need to have first. Swallow second. Williams, thank you. Any further discussion? Questions for Mr. Owens? Hearing none, I vote yes. All.
Yes.
Seconds?
Yes.
Mr. Reginelli has recorded. William?
Yes.
And hello, Daniel. Passed. Due to time constraints and people having to move along, I'm also, at this point, go into executive session. I'm going to move item number 7 up. And I call for resolution to move into executive session.
So the two reasons are, one is to discuss the proposed sale or acquisition of real property, the publicity of which would substantially affect the value thereof. And the second one is the potential appointment or retention of a particular person or corporation. Those are the two independent reasons why we need to go to executive session.
Is that going to require a roll call vote?
I'm okay with a voice vote. We need first and second.
I need first. Williams, second, Wall. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. We would ask everybody to leave with the board and our legal counsel and the staff.